gentlemen. We got Battle of the Boxes once again. This is the Walleye edition, Lucky Tackle Box versus Mystery Tackle Box. I'm going to use the same format. I'm going to pull one of each box, and then we'll just go from there. One thing first that I want to talk about. I noticed that this was in here this month, and it's the Mystery Tackle Box Pro Walleye and Inshore Saltwater boxes coming in June. So I imagine that means you can order in June and get it in July, because I never seen nothing prior to this. So that's kind of cool that they're going to have a Pro Walleye. Normally with the pros, I see people that get one or two more lures or whatever. So I mean, that's kind of cool. They got the Pro Bass, but now the Walleye guys are starting to get a little bit of recognition. The sticker, and we got the Dibble Digest. This month is Jigs 101, and they talk about jigs. One thing I wish I would have seen in here, in the last one they talked about the different spawning times, water temperatures for spawning and stuff like that of the different species of fish. In this one, I wish they would have talked more about post spawn, where how, like, say crappies, the bigger ones will start to move deeper and whatnot. But I wish they would have talked more post spawn in this one. But it is what it is. Something to read. So there's that. Okay, now in the Lucky Tackle Box, we got the sticker, the Get Lucky. I actually put one of these on my truck and it peeled off, so I actually need another one, but the fact that it peeled off kind of bothers me as well. We get the Fish Hound magazine, and I don't know what it is in this one, but it feels really heavy. The one thing that I noticed, and I was gonna talk to them about, I was going through last month's, and they have the fishing calendar, and it shows the days, the moon overhead, the moonrise, moon set, the lunar periods, and the best days of fishing or whatever. But it's already Saturday the 18th. They send it out on the 10th. I got mine today on the 18th. By the time you get it, half the calendar's already worthless. So this month should have actually had July's, so that you're a month ahead. If they send it out on the 10th, even if someone gets it on the 13th, you're still already half into it. You're not going to have this from the 1st to the 10th or whatever. So I wish they had a month ahead, and it does say June 2016. So I wish that they had it a month ahead so that you could get the July's in there or whatever. But that's yeah. The other thing is Lucky Tackle Box, and we'll talk about it. They didn't send a price card this month. What they sent was a card that you can use to, and here it is actually, I figured I'd just dig it out. What it is it's Memorial Day. They're taking the cost of what it took to print out their price sheets and donated it, and then it has on the back where you can donate as well, and you can either mail this in or go on to the website and do it for Memorial. And that's pretty cool. That don't have the prices on these, but I will check out online and see what I can find or whatever. But we'll just so since I don't have a price on these, I'm not going to go over the price on these as much. I did get the match the hatch as well, and I already scratched it and I lost, of course. I did get 2 crawfish, but if I would have won, it would have been a Smith Optics shirt, and whatever. So let's go over some of this stuff. The first thing in here is a Yum Money Minnow, and this is $9.59 is what it says. And I actually really like these. They're clear, but they have um, glitter inside of them, and you can see how, it's got the paddle tail swim bait. So when it's in the water and it starts doing its dance, you can see how that glitter is just going to pop out. Um, these are actually going to be pretty useful because right now where I live, it's post spawn, and so they're suspended about 15 to 18 feet along the shorelines and stuff around the bottom. Then they come up to feed on minnows. So if I'm casting this or trolling this along that 5 to 10 feet, I mean, these are really going to shine in the sun, and they're going to do some good fishing. I like these. I really, really do. um, so Lucky Tackle Box, we got walleye tubes, and any crappie person knows they got the crappie tubes. This is basically like a crappie tube, but it's bigger. It's an oversized crappie tube, and you can see it's hollow, and and then you can put some kind of dope bait inside there or whatever you want to do. You don't need it, but so it's basically like a crappie tube, but just oversized, bigger, and it's the walleye tube. And it actually it's from a company that's the crappie specialist, Southern Pro Tackle. So that's you know I like these. I like them. I don't know how much they are, but I like crappie tubes. I use them for crappies. I've caught walleye on smaller crappie tubes before, so I mean these will work. The color is nice. Some two-tone or different colors in it would have been nice, but the chartreuse is always a go-to. So we got two soft plastics from each box already. Okay, I'm just gonna pull this out because I don't want to get hooked. This is the second time that this has happened, and there's been other times where it's already like peeling, but it's already opened. It's not that big of a deal because I'm gonna open it anyway. The lure is fine, but I don't know what Vicious Fishing uses for glue, but or maybe it's old. I mean, maybe it's been sitting, maybe it was hanging on a shelf for a really long time. I don't know, but you can see that there's not even a lot of tear along there. So, but this, I don't like that the hooks get tangled that easily. I mean, that's one of these times you're going to cast it and the hooks are going to get tangled and you're going to miss fish. The color is basically a bait ball. It's got the chrome and the black back, the red bill. It's got a deep bill, deep diving. I'm guessing probably 8 to 12 feet. So that kind of fits along with the post spawn. You're on that 10 feet area, 10. So I'm getting a lot of Vicious crankbaits in these boxes. And Vicious ain't a bad brand, so I'm not too upset with that. But let's hope that their glue is better than some of the lures. So that and the Vicious is $3.99. So we got a crankbait in that one. We'll go over to Lucky Tackle Box, and these are big. Holy smokes! So they're paddle tail swim baits, and one has a swim bait hook. So you get one hook and then three swim baits. They're really big. I don't know. Walleye like long, skinny forage. That's what they eat on. And these are long and they're kind of skinny but they sure are big. And they're kind of interesting. They really look. The packaging is really nice. It looks like it's an expensive brand. I don't know any of the pricing. I'll go online and see if I can't find some of the pricing on this stuff. But You can see it's got the slit on the bottom and the slit on the top for the weight and the hooks. Um, you see how the hook sits in there, so it's weedless. And then it's on the bottom, it resets in there. Uh, they're pretty cool. I like them. I'll use them. Over here we got a river rocker. Okay. I've never used the river rocker. I know that there's 3 different sizes to the river rocker. This looks like probably either the bigger one or the more medium. I had, when I was younger, I had a lure that was very similar, and it was made out of wood, and it had a paint job like a crayfish or whatever, and we used to use it on the river, high current river, and the the way that it's built, it can withstand to high speeds. So like this one here, anytime you use something like this, you wanna put it in the water, and then before you like cast it and start retrieving, just put it in the water and see what kind of speed gives it the best action. If you're trolling too fast, it just eliminates all of the wobble, and it just cuts through or pulls through it. So you want to retrieve it at a certain speed, or even troll it at a certain speed to give it the best action. Well, with the river rockers, that's kind of eliminated by the design of the top. Um, High speeds, it really wobbles and does the same dance. It really is. So that's why it's called the river rocker. They work well on high current rivers, and fast trolling and stuff like that, and a little bit faster. The hooks are real big. I mean, they got some big hooks on them, and I mean that's okay, but yeah, it's some big hooks on them. So that's pretty cool to get a river rocker. I don't really do a lot of river fishing, and when I do, it's catfishing or something. But um, it's cool just to have a river rocker and have that. So we got 2 crankbaits and some money minnows, they were called. Okay. Now we get a swim bait from Lucky Tackle Box, and it's a baby bass paint job. It really is a phenomenal paint job. It's got like a 3D gills and fins, like paint job on there. It it really is nice. I mean, it is nice. I really like it. It's got it's got like a nylon inside the swim, to hold it all together. Some of them have like a rubber, and that rubber gets um, soft. You get a big foot. Oh, I can't even talk today. You get a big fish on there, and it will rip it apart. This one's got like a nylon on there, so I would probably suggest that when you're done using it in the water, that you let it dry out, because that nylon is going to be more absorbent. You don't want to just put it in a box and then close it up and seal it, because there's still going to be water in there. You'd want to let it dry out completely. It really has nice look to it when it does its little dance. Great super paint job. The fins on the top, I mean, that's really what the hooks are pretty sticky. I like this. I mean, I really like this. I don't know what to say. I like the paint job. I don't know how well it'll do for walleye fishing. I don't know if walleyes really. I imagine the big walleyes would eat something this size, but it's a little bit big for normal forage for walleyes. But it kind of fits in the theme so far. I mean, everything in here has been super big, with the other paddle tails and now this. So, and then we'll go back over to Lucky Tackle Box, and we get stinger hooks, and these are braided, and it looks like there's 20-pound braid on them. Now some of them have like a little hook on the end. You can just hook it on hook it onto the jig or whatever, your eyelet. These ones have a slip knot, so you'd slip it over something and then you just pull it tight. And if you can see the rigging here, I'll try to get my camera to focus in on it. You see the rigging options. See how you can use it on like a swim bait or a minnow. A lot of ice fishermen use these. A lot of ice fishermen use these on minnows, on tip-ups and stuff. You know, they're cool. I like them, especially if you're gonna fish. Like say you're using this. You see where the hook is at in the middle? That whole back side, you could get short strike, where the fish are eating the back of the tail, eating the back of the tail. Well, if I put that on the hook and then ran the stinger back to the end there, then if they're nipping that tail, I can still catch them off this stinger. You need to be careful with your local laws though. In Minnesota, it's 9 inches. So that means that if I'm using a 6-inch lure and the hook, you know, so your hooks have to be within 9 inches. So just be careful with your laws in your local area so you don't get fined by the DNR or whatever. Next, over in Lucky Tackle Box, Booyah Bait Company. I don't know what I feel about a spinner bait in a walleye box. Maybe the people at Lucky Tackle Box know something that I don't. Part of the reason I signed up for these boxes is to get some stuff that I normally wouldn't buy or use. To get out of my comfort zone and try some new stuff for, you know, species that I fish for. And the jig and the minnow and the Lindy crawler harness are stuff that they're proven winners for me. So this is something that I feel either they know something I don't know, or they have just an abundance of them and they're like, yeah, put some of them in the walleye box. I don't know. If anybody has any luck with the Booyah, or actually, if anybody has any luck with any of the spinner baits for walleye fishing, let me know in the comments or something. That's something that I never would have bought, especially for walleye fishing, but whatever, So, okay, then we go back to Mystery Tackle Box, and we got the death rolls, and these are, again, slow death hooks. They're slow death hooks, but these ones have a spinner built right onto it. So you can, a swivel is actually what I meant to say. These ones have a swivel built right onto them. I'm starting to get so many of these death rolls. I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record in these boxes reviews or these unboxings, but I'm starting to get so many of these slow death, whatever. Over to Mystery or Lucky Tackle Box. Once again, I got some super death. They're like slow death, but they got more of an intense curve. And you rig them just a little bit differently, but it has the same results. So if I can get one out of here, you can see this one has like an intense angle right there. So these ones actually have a bait keeper on the top up here. So I kind of like that. It'll keep your worm or whatever on there. They're really sticky too. You rig it a little bit differently on this one. You rig just a little bit of the worm, and you come out of the worm, and you go up, and then you rig it like Texas rig, and then the way that from here to here it spins. So once again we get the slow death or the super death. This is the mustad, um, super death, I think it's called. Yeah. So once again, more of the super death roll, whatever's getting quite a bit of those. And then last but not least, from um, Lucky Tackle Box, we get another plastic swim bait, and this is a Zombie Max from Lucky Bug, and it's just silver. I mean, it's all silver with a black top, and it's got a weird, I shouldn't say weird, but it's got like a bill, red mouth. It's got like a bill, but the way that the bill is, you can see that it would, dive a little bit. It's like this one's got the bill built into it, where the mouth is the bill. So it's a little bit different there. It looks like it's got another nylon, so the same thing would apply there. So we get two, and so in review, we get two swim baits, some paddle tail swim baits, some walleye tubes, the Booyah bait, and the super death. Okay, so we get 6 items here. Over here we get the 2 crankbaits, the money minnows, and the stingers, and the super or the death rolls. So I like how in this one I get 2 swim baits and some tubes. In this one I get 2 crankbaits and some minnows. These are very similar. The death rolls, whatever. The stinger hooks are cool. I always buy them anyway, so that's something I would have bought. But I like how, I don't know if these two companies talk to each other and say, last month I got 2 crankbaits from each, I think it was, and well, I like the idea of getting 2 crankbaits in one and 2 swim baits in the other one, or if I would have got 2 crankbaits here and 2 crankbaits here, it gets to the point where how many crankbaits does a guy need? Where the swim baits are a nice change of pace. I don't necessarily know how much I'll use them for walleye fishing, but I'll give them a shot and give them a try. And but altogether, I would say that this swim bait with the amazing paint job and these money minnows are probably my favorites out of the boxes. I'm kind of excited to toss this around a little bit. The walleye tubes I'm kind of excited about as well. There's something about them just seems, I feel like not only could I catch walleye, but I could probably catch that 15, 16 inch crappie on one, But, and then these swim baits, not much to say about them. I like the all white, but, they're 5 inch. So it's kind of something different. Something this is for French design for tournament anglers. But yeah, it's something different. It's maybe something I never would have bought. Maybe it'll bring me the trophy walleye I need on my wall. Who knows? Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments who you think won the Mystery Tackle Box versus Lucky Tackle Box. They're both great boxes. I'm kind of excited that Mystery Tackle Box has the Pro version coming out. At $15 a box, you get a good amount here. At $20 a box for the Lucky Tackle Box, you also get a very good amount. They're both good boxes. Anybody who says this one's better than this one, it's just a matter. It's the whole Chevy Ford thing. So, But let me know in the comments which one you think was better this month. And I look forward to throwing some of these around. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe. Have a good day. Tight lines.